1 second. It's loading. I'm sorry.
Oh, here you go. See, you have to use my trusty
I know.
little
I gotta
tablet
get your
I have
old,
here. The good old pencil
the
and
Sinclair
paper.
Broadcasting. There's talks and rumors that they're rebranding the tennis channel. They want to call it American Sports Network, and there's talks that they want to expand their sports content, and Ring of Honor could fit that programming as well. Why not buy TNA, get whatever talent is left, get rid of the talent, some talent that is a waste, and redefine yourself and make a solid organization and actually be on network, on station that roughly 500 million people could be watching on a weekly basis, opposed to this pop network and the other network that you can't even find.
See, I don't think I would waste my money buying TNA if I was Ring of Honor, when you have such a good thing going for you. And you could bring in some of the talent, but I would wait until they leave on their own.
It's 40 to 50 million people. I exaggerated.
I still think that Vince McMahon, the ego that he has, will buy out TNA and use their library. And I think Eric Poyntz, our fan on Facebook, had mentioned, and I think that's a good idea. Buy TNA out when they're at their lowest, and use their library and put it on the WWE Network.
You have the network. I mean,
you could do whatever you want with half of the wrestlers there.
And then you would have more matches of Sting. You'd have more Flair matches. You'd have...
Yeah, but not two great Flair matches.
No.
Towards the end.
You'd
Christian.
Christian. That's another one that comes to mind. Kurt Angle.
Yep.
I mean, unfortunately, I think...
You can't see Vince McMahon buying it. I mean, with the ego that he has to have conquered both WCW and TNA, who tried competing against him, I only could see him buying it.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, he will probably be the only one who will buy it, because he'll probably offer money that he has money to burn, so he could just... But the only problem is the investors. Because now they're publicly traded. Back then, when WCW was going out of business, they weren't publicly traded then. So Vince had more pull, more leeway to do what he wanted to do, because it was more his company. Now that they're publicly traded on the stock exchange, you have to go through investors. You have to go through the board. They have to vote on this, approve the deal to go through. So that's the only thing I see might tie him up if he were to purchase TNA Wrestling. So it would be good if somebody else, like the Sinclair Group, part of Ring of Honor, go out and try and make a deal. You had the Harris brothers talking about how they wanted to get involved. Unfortunately, Dixie Carter still lives in this fantasy land where she wants to sell, but she still wants to be the primary owner and has the final say in what goes on, which you can't have because she's the one who destroyed this company from the beginning. I mean, like we said a couple minutes before, Jeff Jarrett had a good thing going with this. He built it from the ground up. They started with the weekly pay-per-views, and then they started getting the buzz going just at the peak of internet days. It was like 2002, 2003, before smartphones came into play, before YouTube was big, before all this. And he had a vision, and he was creating something good. Unfortunately, where they had the events was always in Universal Studios. But
which actually, doesn't that save them money?
It saves them money, but I mean,
you're filming it in the same studio that WCW was filmed at.
That's true. But then look what WCW did. They busted out and they went on the road, and then they became this huge juggernaut until AOL Time Warner didn't want anything to do with them after the merger.
It's going to be interesting to see where TNA goes from here. Do you know who the first TNA heavyweight champion was?
I believe it was a man named R-Truth.
False, my friend.
No?
He was a TNA heavyweight champion, but the first ever TNA heavyweight champion, Ken Shamrock.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that one.
Oh, yes. And on that note, we are going to take a nice commercial break. When we come back, it's that time. We're going to preview, give our predictions for Payback, close out the show with a couple of notes, and, We hope you enjoy Payback, but we'll tell you our thoughts on it when we come back. This is Anthony the Antman alongside Keith Logan the Loganator. You're listening to Ringside Rumble Radio on Spreaker.com and free on iTunes.
Imagine a world where bullying isn't considered a normal part of childhood.
A world where I'm not afraid to go to school.
To speak out.
To be myself.
A world where I'm not afraid to be caught alone.
Come on, punk.
We have the power to stop the bullying. Speak out.
Speak up.
Educate.
Find out what to look for and how you can make a difference at bullying.org.
Bullying is not kids being kids.
It's not about good homes or bad homes.
It's not a normal part of growing up. I shouldn't be afraid to get on the school bus.
To turn on my computer.
Or walk to my locker. Did you know that a bully will stop his or her behavior in 10 seconds when their peers speak up?
Use your voice.
Hey, leave him alone.
We have the power to stop bullying.
Find out more at bullying.org.
Bullying.org.
Where you're not alone.
You're not alone.
Where you're not alone.
Ringside Rumble Radio here on Spreaker.com and free on iTunes. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Ringside Rumble and like us on Facebook.com at UCR Network. We're still trying to get that fixed.
How easier is it now to just say Spreaker.com and free on iTunes? I felt like when we had the UCR Network added in there, it was just like I had to remember everything.
I know.
It was just one of those things, man. You had to just try to remember one line and just say it. But I'm glad we're still on Spreaker.com and free on iTunes. So there's that.
We're still trying to get on more apps. I have calls out to other platforms that carry podcasts. So hopefully, if you are on the TuneIn app, we should be on that soon. There's a few other ones. I don't have the details yet, but I'm working my magic, so to speak. So, Payback. Payback is Sunday, which is tomorrow. Will you be watching the pay-per-view?
Oh, yes. Definitely watching this pay-per-view. The build-up has been very good, better than WrestleMania, and I am looking forward to probably every match on this list here, yes.
Can I ask you a question quickly?
Sure.
Do you have any, I guess you could say, go-to foods when you watch pay-per-view?
Go-to foods?
Like, do you sit and you're like, it's a pay-per-view. Like, I know football. Like, I like to eat wings when I watch football. Is there anything?
I like to eat wings when I watch wrestling. Maybe just a couple slices of pizza.
Pizza.
Chips. Got my sweet chili
Doritos?
Doritos, yes.
That's probably the best Doritos.
I love those Doritos.
I was thinking about that the other day. What does anybody have parties? Do you watch
Maybe
it alone?
Maybe a beer here and there.
Hey, just throw it out to Stone
Or the
Cold.
good old water.
If you're dieting. But I want to throw a tweet, if we could, or a Facebook response, send out. What do you usually do for pay-per-views? Do you watch it alone? Do you have a party? Do you have a couple buddies over to watch it? Gals or guys? I mean, what the fans, what do you do for your pay-per-view extravaganzas? I mean, WrestleMania was huge for me this year. The girlfriend, her friend hosted a big WrestleMania party, so that was fun. Never experienced that, especially I didn't think she was like, hey, I'm having a WrestleMania party. Well, it wasn't actually her. Her friend's husband hosted it, so she's like, we have to go to this. And I was like, if I must, you just twisted my arm.
There's a criteria that I have to go through before I go to anyone's party or before I have anyone come to the party, and that is the main thing is the person has to watch wrestling or be into wrestling. I don't need to hear someone complain about this is fake, this is
boring, this is stupid.
If you're going to do that, you can stay home.
You can sit
it's
in the
not
kitchen.
an event for everybody.
Yeah, you can sit in the kitchen and eat the pizza.
Yeah.
And don't come down to the family area.
Yeah, I don't need any of that. So that's one thing I like to make sure people don't get in my way while I'm watching my wrestling. But getting into this card here, pre-show, Kalisto versus Ryback for the United States the United States Championship. That's a little new title, huh?
I have a question. Haven't we seen this match somewhere?
We've seen this match before. We saw it at WrestleMania. Kalisto came out on top with no crowd watching as they let no one into the arena at the time. Maybe this is a...
so maybe they're doing this again.
Maybe they're doing this again. But this time, I will go with Ryback to be crowned the new United States champion. I mean, if he loses here, what else are you to do with Ryback?
Well, there was rumors that he was on his way out of WWE, so... But I see... Maybe there's a little screw job. Maybe a Sin Cara comes.
Love screw jobs.
Hey, I mean, WWE loves it too, so... They love to throw the little monkey wrench at us. Maybe Sin Cara comes and tries to help him, but then costs him the title match. And maybe we see a Sin Cara Kalisto feud going up to SummerSlam. I mean, that could be possible.
You think that they're going to break those two up in a division that needs its tag teams? You'd break up Lucha Dragons, who are very popular right now?
Probably not, because they love selling merchandise, and they're pretty big in the merchandise biz.
It's just that they weren't able to stay healthy together, because Sin Cara's always hurt.
Yeah, so maybe I could see Ryback winning. But if he's on his way out, why are you going to give him a title if he has stressed that he's not happy and he wants to leave? So I don't know. I'll go Ryback. Why not?
Tag team Budios final match for the tag team in the tag team tournament. That was hard to get out of my mouth.
A tongue twister, eh?
Yeah. Enzo and Cass against the Vaudevillains. I think we get a feud between the Vaudevillains and the New Day before we get a Enzo and Cass feud with the New Day. Both teams are just too hot to put on the pay-per-view right after WrestleMania. So I'm going to go with the Vaudevillains to become victorious.
I think the Vaudevillains wins. I think Big Cass and Enzo Amore.
They'll get their time.
But I think they're still going to go. There's a feud with them and the Dudleys that's not finished. So I think that's what's going to happen once this match is over at Payback.
We have Dolph Ziggler taking on a Antman fan favorite in Baron Corbin. Now, I know he gets a lot of slack, but I like the Baron Corbin character, and I think he can really go a long way if, he stays focused and they push him. So I have Baron Corbin going over Dolph Ziggler, who is a human piñata nowadays, and they just throw him to the wolves. Literally now, the lone wolf.
Unfortunately, Ziggler is a bit of a mid-card jobber, I guess you can say right now.
It's a been there, done that.
So I, too, will have to agree with you that Baron Corbin gets the victory on this one.
Do you agree with me on the Baron Corbin front? I think there's a lot of fans that don't like Baron Corbin, but I think he's someone that they can get to that level.
I think he'll get there. It's a matter of time. I mean, they went in the right direction by giving him the Andre the Giant Battle Royal trophy. They made him the winner of that, so that's a start. Now you just need to build on that. Maybe this win puts him in line for maybe a U.S. title shot, maybe I don't see Intercontinental, but if you want to build on the U.S. title, maybe throw him into the mix. So why not? I think this is going to be a stepping stone for Baron Corbin, and unfortunately, this will just be another loss on the notch of a belt for Dolph Ziggler, because he's not getting any belts anytime soon.
The IC title's on the line. The Miz takes on 007 Cesaro himself in a... This is interesting little feud that they started here. The Miz seems to be